Hello everyone, I'm Yinghai and I'm representing Malaysia, and I'm about to start my presentation. In Luoyang, Henan, a city as known as the source of Chinese calligraphy culture, on an ordinary residence square, whatever early morning and evening, there are always a group of people. Some are riding on the ground with the water, and some riding back to home and bring their work to the square to show it. And some are stopped and watching and talking. In this moment, this ordinary square transfer into a spontaneous cultural space. Calligraphy here no longer to be a decoration at a museum, but it is the daily practice that everyone can take part in. But this thing is fading. Aging weakness the physical actives of writing the calligraphy. In the same time, digital technology compress the calligraphy into a symbol on the screen. The perception and the process are stripped away. The culture of the community is fading as well. So I began to think, how can design help these cultural activities keep happening in the community? Here, the Track Inc., a calligraphy community center. The purpose of this project is quite simple. I'm not going to create a new format of the culture, but bringing the calligraphy back to the people's daily life and providing a space for them and let this cultural activity could keep happening in this space. But when the writing happens, doesn't mean build up the understanding for culture to last. The key point is that how to transfer into a learnable process. So why don't we starting from how to writing the calligraphy? So before we starting to writing the calligraphy, you have to know the beauty of the calligraphy is more than black and white. It also comes from the colors that people adding through from their perceptions of the nature. It could be the mountain, trunk, earth, lake, and sky. Adding this perception of the nature, it will finally transfer into the writing order of the calligraphy. And this writing order can finally conclude it as the most basic writing logic of the calligraphy. Therefore, four main functional zones are emerged. The shift from cold to warm color reflected how the privacy is increasing and how the space of the zoning. And this space programming also separate by the four stroke. The first stroke, beginning, which is the hybrid cultural communication space, a place for people to gather and a place for people to starting to stop watching and writing. And then a platform for cultural to grow and separate. The second stroke, connection, is transitional social space. It is actually a corridor for linking and a bridge for walking. In the end, all the space will finally meet here. The third stroke, transformation, which is the cultural experiences space. In this space, people will from watching to the participating, and from students to change. The exhibition and the activities switches. All the experience itself in this space will finally transfer into the writing gadget. And the last stroke, combination, which is the interactive knowledge hub, a meeting point of the knowledge and a field for interactive learning and the recreational zone be here. All of this process, programming and the stroke are not from an abstract deduction, but step-by-step grounding, from writing logic to place it into the place it into the observation of the existing site. Luoyang Tianxing Cultural Industrial Park, formerly Luoyang Construction Machinery Factory from China's first 5-year plan period. And the country's first road roller being born here carries the memories of the old Luoyang. After revelation at 2017, it became a cultural landmark around this community. But the culture around here is over-commercialized, that's what I see. And people doesn't have a truly usable space, public space for them. So I saw the opportunity that people need such a space for them to let the cultural activity to take part in. After that, the design doesn't starting from the form, but starting from the writing structure. The overall concept is coming from Tang Dynasty's wild grass. It is emotional and hard to understand at first. But if you break it down, you will finally find out those are the most basic structure of the calligraphy stroke, which is the horizontal, vertical, right folding, and left folding stroke. I'm bringing those most basic stroke structure into and translate them into the spatial organization. Now, when we are all ready, let's starting our first stroke, which is the beginning. It will finally lead to our memory. 3 levels in this space, inspired by 2,000 years Chinese embarrassed structure. Gathering and retail at the ground floor. Sometimes it could be the exhibition. And also, 2 calligraphy practice rooms being settling at the 2nd floor. Beyond this is more on the people's daily choices. Let's starting from the ground floor. The Dokong structure comes from traditional Chinese architecture elements like the old tree over here. They are all the carriers, bringing the cultures and our memories. Please think about it. When we was children, we play under the tree, and when we're getting old, we rest under it. So the trees and the structure remains, the culture and the memory remains. At the 2nd floor, 2 calligraphy practice rooms arranged in a grid. They repeat and cycle here. Like the countless time we practice horizontal and vertical stroke when we're learning the calligraphy process. Hope you remember the path that we come through. The work being practiced here can straightaway send to the display area at the side. So each pieces comes from an ordinary person, so that everyone could join writing the calligraphy, not just a watcher. With the path we come through, the path ahead is getting more clearer. The brush moves and does working. It leads to the 2nd stroke connection. The existing factory structure merges with the wooden flooring. Large opening make the corridor naturally and clear. Surrounded by the stainless steel panel and a well-meshed partition, strong, recyclable, and guiding the movement. In the calligraphy, this 2nd stroke connection is more matter on the brush movement, so that in the space design is more focused on the circulation in the space, in each space, so that as you can see, each space are linking bridge and reachable directly. By changes of the pressure, brush pressure and expressed different function in the space. This will finally lead to our 3rd stroke, which is the transformation. The transformation in the calligraphy means changes of the direction and the rhythm. And I translate them into the space where a calm place, where the people does stop and moving, and where does the things does change. By extracting and shorting the line from the well-grasped writing, I design a path structure from point to the line, then to the surface, and to the volume. An abstract writing path that being transferred into a walkable spatial structure. The original structure are partially open up, is creating a vertical and horizontal interlocking relationship. And the stairs here no longer just be a tools and also is an interface for people to walking and communication. As people rest, pause, stop, and turning, all the movement in the space will finally transfer into the dynamic writing in the space. The structure also makes people flow by level. As you can see, every entry came from different direction, from ground floor, then to the first, and to the second. Each ascent are transformation. In this space, I also introduced a multifunctional unit. It's designed from abandoned factory containers. The function will be changed with the people needs. Sometimes it could be a temporary tea room or a small dining, even a retail room. From daily rest to the cultural event, it's keep updating. For responding to the earlier idea that we're talking about adding the natural element while we're writing the calligraphy, so the climbing plants leave the trees not only in the space, but also in the time. After continued learning and understanding the calligraphy, here does a summary as our last stroke combination. I combined it with traditional 四合院 organization with this space. Different purpose of the area being separated by the levels, but in the end, the core remains connected. In this space, also included a study room, library, and a huge interactive installation. When you first entering this space, the first thing you notice is the interactive device at the first floor. Above, pieces sway by flow, and below, the wooden pieces are curved each part of the calligraphy. That's where you got the two pieces. When you combine these two together, we'll finally form a new format of the calligraphy. It will be helping you to understand how the calligraphy being built. In the end, your own calligraphy work now being completed. What is this project responding is more than a space issue. It responds to the despairing cultural community connection and providing a space for people to watching, stop, and talking. People no longer just using this space, they recreate the culture. The scattered calligraphy culture are reorganized and continued in this space. In this process, the culture no longer something as a form, and the legacy no longer something has to be preserved. Let's back to the open thing. Some are writing on the ground with the water, some are showing, some are stop, watching, and talking. This is an undesigned cultural state. What this project doing is not going to replace it. It's going to let this cultural activity can keep happening in the space. So that the track ink is not a mission have to be completed, but it's a process that community can be keep writing on in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Yinghai.